Hello YouTube, this is Carl back again, and I'm here to do another video on one of my state senators, Kamala Harris. She was the newly elected state senator from 2016. I voted for Loretta Sanchez, even though she was still Democrat, but she was just less strict on guns. But I'm here to show Kamala Harris and her political donations that she receives from corporations and big money donors. So she spent about over 16 million, and she's raised over 17 million. And this is within the past 5 years. As you can see, she mostly gets it from the movie, TV, so media. She gets around over a million. 2.2 million from lawyers and law firms. So she's certainly racking up the cash here. Now to her contributors. So her first one, number one, Time Warner. Now you probably heard Time Warner before. They were the former. They spend, what is this over here? Almost half a million, just 2018 cycle. They're pumping money towards the Democrats. Yep, Time Warner loves their Democrats because they know it makes them more views on CNN. But, no one's going to believe that when they hear it, right? But let's just look at the assets Time Warner owns, because then you can see they're influencing her and what forms of the media are they influencing. So you can see when they work together, it's just the same person pulling the puppet strings. So Time Warner owns HBO, Turner Broadcasting System, Ted Turner's former networks. I remember that was acquired. This is there. Warner Brothers Entertainment, so that includes DC Entertainment, so all the Batman movies. Warner Brothers Pictures. Okay. So that too. And animated group, so it includes the entire movie and television groups for Warner Brothers. Then there are other units. Well, most of these were sold or acquired by other companies. And their former assets too. And what they've gotten rid of, yes. And then, because Time Warner is such a conglomerate, look at the money they make. 76.2 billion. Okay, their sales, so their revenues, 29.32 billion. This is just from the past fiscal year, which was in May 2017, so that was from June 2016 to May 2017. And look, they're big money donors. They're giving all this, especially to the Democrats. They're supplying them because they know more Democrats in the House and Senate. That means more views on CNN because people will be worried. But hey, don't listen to me. Just look at the numbers here. Yeah, profits, jeez. Next up, News Corp. Now, News Corp is defunct now, but it was brought into a different form. 21st Century Fox, opened by Rupert Murdoch. And as you can see, they're closer to an even balance between the donations, but still more to Democrats. So, yes, trying to give all this. Okay. You got a few Republicans mixed in there, so they're pretty shitty people too. You got Doug Jones. Jeez, what's everyone's supplying Doug Jones? Probably because no one wants to go after freaking child toucher Roy Moore. Roy Moore. I'm so smart. No one loves me because they don't like Jesus. Well, 21st Century Fox, they own Fox Entertainment Group, which includes television and movies and all their TV networks. Jeez, they own so many, it's crazy. And Sky, I forgot that. United Kingdom, every place they reach out to. These other Fox bought Hulu too. And see, this is a problem with these big conglomerates like Time Warner and News Corp, aka now 21st Century Fox, is that they just buy up everything. So then it's controlled by them. It still stays operating on as its own entity, but the puppet strings are still controlled by the parent company. Yeah, 21st Century Fox. Kamala Harris is second biggest donor. Her third, Venable Limited Liability Partner. Now you hear this name, you probably never heard of it before, but still, almost, what was that? Over $280,000 donated in the 2018 cycle. Oh, unusual. Doug Jones at the top, and Paul Ryan, that scumbag. But anyway, we move on. So what does Venable Limited Liability Partner do? They provide legal advisory services to corporate and institute clients. Their focuses are on business transactions, employee benefits, executive compensation, appellate litigation, congressional investigations, copyright and unfair trade, and debt settlement counseling services. It also provides commercial litigation, security regulations, and enforcement, taxation, and mergers and acquisition advisories, and mezzanine finance services. Venable caters to banking and financial services, construction, media, technology, automotive, government, real estate, healthcare, and transportation sectors. Already just seeing that, they are paying off definitely some shady ass lobbying there. This is Venable Limited Liability Partner. Yeah, so it's just a law firm. She gets all this money from law firms. And who is her next biggest donor? Alphabet Incorporated. Now, what is Alphabet Incorporated? Well, they certainly donate a lot. Almost 1.4 million. Mostly to Democrats as usual, but still give enough to the scummy Republicans. And, oh, look at that. Doug Jones at the top. Whoop-de-doo. And next, John Ossoff. Failure John Ossoff, might add. And who's their number one Republican? Paul Ryan. Not really surprised. Alphabet Incorporated is the multinational conglomerate headquartered in Mountain View, California, created through the corporate restructuring of Google. So it's just Google with everything they own, all their services. So she gets paid off by Google, the high-tech industry. What do they have? Oh, over 110 billion in revenues past year. Yay. But that doesn't matter because she got to do after all the expenses. So if you take off their direct labor costs, direct material costs, and management overhead, they end up with 12.66 billion. Still a shit ton of money. And they have over 197 billion in assets. So still a lot of money. Let's see what they've done for acquiring. They've acquired Lyft, 20th Century Fox, music startup, okay. And the Pixel smartphone, oh yeah, Google, I know they came out with that, although they still own Android, so they already have those phones down. But just look at all that money they have. They use it to pay off people like Kamala and Paul Ryan and John Ossoff and Doug Jones, because they want to do what's best for them, because that's what these greedy companies do, but no one's going to admit it to you. What is this fifth one for Kamala Harris? Creative Artists Agency. Obviously, they only like Republicans enough to give them $650. And, oh, Elizabeth Warren at the top. Oh. Yeah, I'm not really surprised. And Barack Obama, too, on there. Or former President Barack Obama, I should say now. Kristen Gillibrand's also on here. Mr. Ossoff, the disgusting Cory Booker, is on here. But what is Creative Art Agency? It's an American talent and sport agency. So she's being sponsored by a freaking talent agency. Over 86,000 from a talent agency. Well, you wonder what could they possibly be doing. But let's just see the kind of industry or the kind of talent agency that gives to Kamala Harris. What we have here, they were actively involved in cover-ups relating to Harvey Weinstein scandal. Ooh, 8 agents knew about the harassment conducted by Weinstein and even sent them to situations they knew he'd be vulnerable. Uma Thurman positions them with helping facilitate Mr. Weinstein's behavior. And hey, this is just taking it recently. She took this money, what is this, 86,000 here? Still, she's taking money. Yeah, 555. Still, with all that money you've taken from them. That's just 2018 too. Yeah. So, this kind of agency you support, Kamala. But don't just say it to me about it. And I know I usually only do 5, but I want to do the 6th one because this is the University of California. So this is a really focus point I want to put into this video because the University of California has outrageous costs for going to school, including tuition. And I know most of the time they've constantly been raising tuition costs. Even though you rarely see that money going back into benefiting students, usually it just goes to padding more administrative salaries. And Kamala Harris is taking almost $75,000 from the University of California. And they've given a total over $751,000. Well, let's just look at the recipients. Doug Jones, literally their 2 highest biggest donations they've ever given. The 2 candidates they give the most money, the University of California, are 2 representatives all the way in the South. Shows you what kind of state they're trying to be. And then you got a few California. You got Feinstein. And later Elizabeth Warren is not on here, and Kamala Harris is on here too. So you could see that the University of California really just supports Democrats. But what I want to show is an article from just a few months ago on January 20th, 2018. And the University of California, I'll copy this and put it in the info for the video, is proposing a raise in tuition services for the in-state students. Now it's just a 2.7% increase, but that's $342 going up. So that's almost 13,000 in-state students are paying just for tuition for 1 academic year, which is total bullshit. That should be the out-of-state rate even. Even that's fairly high, but that's reasonable. But out-of-state students, that's almost 29,000. Jeez. So half of the residents don't even pay tuition. They say that these funds will raise about $137 million, and it'll be used towards financial aid enrollment growth, faculty courses, graduate student fellowships, expanded mental health services, counseling, and academic technology, revising technology upgrades, library support, and building maintenance. Most of that is bullshit. It mostly goes to just helping the executives and administration at the school. Nothing really more than that. A planned increase in contributions to the employee retirement fund would be shelved under the proposal. Good, until you freaking help students. You don't deserve one. Governor Jerry Brown proposed a 3% increase in base funding for UC and Cal system schools. Well, that's horrible to do. It's good to increase, but 3% is too high. You really want to stay more between 1 and 2% for growth, because then it's very steady, but you're not going to have any crazy shocks that take everyone by storm. I just don't know how they can keep raising tuition fees and costs for students. Yeah, more Marxists. Well, it's good to see students are against this, but yeah, they have all that money they charge students, and yet Kamala Harris, I'd say she's received over almost 75,000 from the University of California. So, if I have to say so myself, she's pretty corrupt from taking money from this institution that seeks to constantly burden more onto students only to benefit administration and not students at the school. And it really sucks because I have friends that do go to these schools, but hey, they wanted to stay, and I wasn't going to stay. That's why I'm glad I went to Arizona State. But thank you for watching this video on Kamala Harris. I believe I'm going to still do more on my politicians from back home before I do Republican, which the first will definitely be John McCain and then Jeff Flake. So thank you for watching this video.